The Foundations of Findhorn, Chapter 5, Change. There was a picture of an ugly duckling being transformed into a beautiful swan. I heard the words, "That divine spark is within every heart, but before the transformation can take place, it has to be fanned until it is a flame of deepest love and dedication to me and my service." Findhorn has been called a place of vision. It's also been called a place of demonstration. It can be truly said to be a place of transformation. David Spangler said, "Findhorn is based on the realization that the earth and all humanity are entering a new age." The early group at Findhorn were told many times that they were explorers and pioneers of the new age. But what exactly is that new age? It has been defined in terms of a change of consciousness, and it is this which brings home the personal nature of the new age. For such a change of consciousness cannot be organized into existence, nor can it be brought about by an act of government. It must be experienced by each person, one by one, and it is this change which Findhorn really exists to bring into being. Change will be necessary, therefore do not resist change. Expansion will be necessary, therefore do not resist expansion. Open yourselves up. Allow yourselves to grow and expand and change without any effort or resistance. Those who cannot change because they do not want to change will simply be left behind. The precise nature of this change was defined by David Spangler. The New Age is fundamentally a change of consciousness from one of separation and isolation to one of communion, attunement, and wholeness. Seek and find your direct link with me. Retain that link no matter what is going on around you, for it is through that link that all things are possible. That link with me, the divine, is the source of all power, and it is this power which creates miracles, my divine laws made manifest. What are miracles but my divine laws in operation? Work with these laws and anything can happen. It is identifying yourselves with the oneness of all life, with all wisdom, with all power that opens the doors and enables the laws to operate within each one of you. Why watch miracles happen in the lives of others when they can just as well happen in yours? When you attune yourselves to this power and oneness and accept that you can do all things through me, for I strengthen you and uphold you and work in and through you. Of yourselves you are nothing, but with me you can do all things. You will behold miracle upon miracle come about in your lives and living. Keep your consciousness raised. Be willing to accept your true heritage. Have you not accepted your oneness with me? Have you not accepted that I am within you? That you are all wisdom, all power, all love? All that is within you will be drawn forth and used for the good of the whole, and the most amazing and wonderful things will come about. What is more, there will be no limitation to what can take place, for I am limitless, and all things are possible where I am. In that expanded state of consciousness, you are aware of the oneness of all life. You are at one with all your fellow men. You know the meaning of unity and harmony of the brotherhood of man. Every man is your neighbor, and you love him as much as you love yourself. This is the answer to everything, for when you can do this, there can be no disharmony and disunity, and as more and more souls learn to put this into practice, so shall peace and harmony reign in the world. It all starts with you. Never point your finger at anyone else, but start doing something about it yourselves, and start doing it now. There is no better time than the present. Try to see this time as the start of the new, the birth of the new, and that new can start right here in your very heart. You do not have to wait for anyone else to start it. You do not have to look anywhere except in your own heart. It's as simple as that. Try to think of this life as a great adventure. You're going to a new country where there are new people with new customs, who speak a new language, who live in a new way, and all your old ways just do not fit into this adventure. If you enter into the new in the right spirit, it can be such a joyous adventure and you will have no regrets. Put your faith and trust in me and step ahead fearlessly. How much easier it is for a small child to accept the new because it has not got itself into a rut and therefore has nothing of the old to shed before accepting the new. There is a great need for you to become like a simple little child, yet it is the hardest thing for you to do. Have you ever watched a snake shedding its old skin, leaving it behind complete and empty, and emerge a thing of beauty, new, fresh, and shiny? It matters not if you have not actually witnessed this, but this is what I want you to do with the old in yourself. I want you to slide out of that old skin inch by inch, leaving it behind to wither away and crumble into nothingness, and to emerge into the new without a shred of the old left. A snake does not cling on to any of its old skin. When the time comes for it to cast off the old, all of the old goes completely. It has no choice in the matter. This just happens. Whereas, with mankind, he has been given free will. He can choose whether he can shed all of the old and emerge into a new, completely new person, or whether he clings on to that part of the old. It may be only the tiniest part of the old, but even that tiniest part can mar the new, can act as a break, a stumbling block to the complete advance. Therefore, look within yourself and see if there is anything of the old which you are still clinging on to. If you find there is, immediately cut yourself free of it and emerge into the new, a new being filled with light and love, a radiant being. You may think that you've cast off all the old, but remember the old dies hard, and it does not just happen. It needs a very determined effort on your part. But once you have made this really determined effort and have left the old behind forever like a snake, you cannot go back to the old again. As it has outgrown its old skin, so you have outgrown the old, and there is just the glorious new ahead of you, shining in all its beauty and wonder. The snake would not want to return to its old skin, neither would you want to return to the old life. Let it wither and crumble into nothingness. I want you to witness my wonders in your life and in your living. I want to be able to demonstrate my power within you. This I will do as soon as all of the old has been left behind and you are wholly in the new. I can assure you that this is what will happen. You are making wonderful progress, and at times you think you are completely in the new, but there is still that little bit of the old left. Make that extra effort, work hard, and you will get there. Change can come so quickly when you are ready and willing to accept change and stop fighting against it. All things are made new when you can see everything through the eyes of love. Every change, every move, every test and trial, all is for the very best. All is to help you grow in stature and strength, to help you to get your values right, to take nothing for granted, to change and change quickly without any resistance or resentment. Why not get rid of the old to make room for the new right now? Far too much time is wasted thinking about it Immediate action is what is needed. A clean break is so much better than a prolonged one. Get into action. Do something about it now. The new age is the age of group awareness, of learning to live and work in the unity of a group. As most people are individualistic and self-centered in their attitude, there must be a radical change in them to enable them to be a real part of the group, part of the whole. This is the change already defined as the change of consciousness from one of isolation and separation to one of communion, attunement, and wholeness. It is I who brought you all together, a lot of self-willed individuals full of faults and failings with absolutely nothing in common. In fact, I have chosen the most difficult, and you are to be welded into a group where there is unity, peace, and harmony. Out of the chaos and confusion caused by the self-will in each of you, I am teaching you, I am leading you, I am guiding you into my ways, until eventually each one of you is no longer self-willed, but lives by my will and my will alone. As you strive to come even closer to me, you are bound to find unity, for I am the greatest uniting power in the universe. When you are at one with me, you are at one with the whole universe. Let that be your aim, knowing that all things are possible. You are set the lead for many. Pioneering is always difficult, but really worthwhile. Pioneer for me. Know that every battle fought and won is for me, and brings you ever nearer the goal. You will reach it, have absolutely no doubt. As a group, you have a tremendous work to do for me. There is one miracle you do constantly see and wonder at, and that is the way I have been able to cleanse your heart completely of any hardness or bitterness towards. From time to time, it is as well to review your relationships with those around you, your motives and attitudes. Living as you do at close quarters as a group, the air has to be cleared from time to time. Deep sharing and plain speaking does help to do this. Never allow resentments to get bottled up, because sooner or later, what is inside will ferment and burst forth, causing upheavals and unpleasantness and disunity. Look within before blaming anyone else for anything. See what you personally can do to right a wrong, and when you see what you can do about it, do it instantly. Do not wait for the other person to make the first move. You may wait around for a long time if you do, but you can do something now. Have a good spring clean every now and again so you can start afresh. Love overcomes all barriers. When there is love in your heart, your whole outlook on life changes. What was black changes to purest white. Love is the solution to all problems and troubles. Love me before all else, then love your fellow men. The more you love me, the more you love one another. Everything works together for good for those who love me and put me first in everything. How can you hope for things to go smoothly when you kick and struggle all the time and are filled with bitterness and resentment and can see no good in anything? Why not start now and change your thinking? Replace those thoughts and feelings of bitterness and resentment with love and goodwill. Take time to be still so that you can feel my love all around you. Open your hearts and see me in everything. Let go. Be at perfect peace and absorb my divine love. Become completely saturated with it. Then let it flow forth from you freely. Freely do I give my love to each and every one of you. Freely let it pour in and through you, out to those in need. With love in your hearts, life takes on a different hue. So love, love, love. Take nothing to the self and change your whole life and outlook. I am with you. Learn to think and feel for others, to do to others as you would have them do to you, to understand and enter fully into their lives and hearts, pouring out love and compassion to them, banishing all criticism, judgment, and condemnation. It's not easy to turn the other cheek when someone hits out at you in either word or deed. The immediate reaction is to hit back. He who has not learnt to react in the right manner, who will give as good as he gets and feel justified in doing so, will wonder why there is so much chaos and confusion, why mankind is so full of hatred, bitterness, and resentment. He is so blind, he cannot see that until he has learned to change his whole thinking and start right now to love his neighbour as himself, he cannot hope to change what is going on in the world. Love transforms and transmutes all bitterness and hatred. Understanding opens up hearts that have been closed, that have remained cold and unresponsive. Let the oil of love be used lavishly between you, so that all those difficult and stiff places in you can be eased and freed. Until there is a wonderful free flow of love and goodwill between each and every one of you, and love reigns supreme in your hearts. Live and move, and have your being in freedom and in love. The greater the change in people, the more love and goodwill there is, the quicker will change come in the world. But it starts in you, and you, and you. The sooner you realize this and start doing something about it, the sooner will changes take place around you, and so out and out into the world. So start doing something about it now. There is something new unfolding all the time. Feel yourself stretching and growing. Become aware of all that is going on around you. Nothing is static. There's constant movement, constant change, and every change is for the best. Many people resist change. Many people resent change. Many people reject the whole idea that we need to change, or even that we can change. Much of this resistance is because they are not honest with themselves about themselves. They do not want to see themselves as they really are, and therefore the first step towards change is to see. I know how you feel when I have to speak to you severely and pull you up. Be very grateful that I can do this, that I can bring these shortcomings of yours to your notice in this way, because then you can do something about them. So often there are blind spots in each of you, and it is uncomfortable to have those blind spots floodlit with my light. It would be so much more comfortable just to go on and on in the same old way, ignoring your blind spots. It is because of my great and tender love for you that I do illumine all those sores so that they can come into the light and be healed. I am the light of the world. I am there at all times. But when mankind pulls down the shutters or blindfolds himself, I appear to be no longer there, and he stands in utter darkness. As he pulls the blindfold bit by bit from his eyes, he can once again see the light, but it has to be done gradually, otherwise it would blind him with its brightness. Mankind has to choose for himself whether or not he takes action and removes his blindfold. No one can do this for him. So often mankind chooses to remain in darkness because there his faults and failings and weaknesses cannot be seen. Darkness blinds and binds. He is no longer free but in bondage, even though he imagines it is more comfortable that way. You know what I mean, for when you are in the dark, you want to be left alone. for fear of what the light might reveal. As more and more are drawn to this centre, there will be many who will want to join you and learn to live and work as a group. Much love will be needed, deep understanding and tolerance. All will be different. All will be special, needing handling and understanding. Never try to lump people together. Each one is an individual who needs very special care. Each one has specific problems which need to be sorted out. Great patience will be called for. It will not be easy, but keep very close to me and let me guide every word and action. I want you to think of a treasure which has been lost for 100 years in the depths of the ocean. It's been lying there, becoming more encrusted with barnacles until its original beauty is completely unrecognizable. Then it is discovered at last by a treasure hunter, is brought up to the surface and looks utterly worthless. Someone with no knowledge or insight would not even recognize it as a priceless treasure and might even cast it back into the ocean as rubbish. But one with knowledge and insight would take time and patience and very carefully chip off all the barnacles. It might take weeks and weeks to reveal even the tiniest part of the treasure, but the one who knows will allow nothing to deter him until he has cleansed it completely and it lies before him in its true beauty and perfection. So with a soul, in every soul there is that true perfection, there is that Christ's image, there is that spark of God. It may be unrecognizable with all the dirt and filth that covers it, but he who knows, he who is sensitive, sees deep down, beyond all the surface confusion, to that which is the truth, and with great love and patience and perseverance will slowly remove, bit by bit, all that is marring the beauty of that soul, until the perfection is beheld, and that soul stands forth in its full glory and knows that it is made in my image and likeness, that it is one with me. Do not waste time trying to overcome your weaknesses and failures. Simply raise your consciousness, transcend and free your thoughts from limitation and illusion. Find within the very center of your being wholeness and completeness. Know the meaning of true freedom. The knowing of that freedom sets you free to do my will and walk in my ways. Cease struggling, become still. Cease wallowing in your imperfections. Be ye perfect, even as I am perfect. Know that you can reach that state of perfection. Never accept limitations. Aim high, and you will get there. It's only your limiting thoughts that hold you back. Find out what my plan is for you, then carry it out without hesitation. Let not those petty little things in life hold you back from advancing along this spiritual path. Those little petty self-indulgences which seem so harmless at the time, but which become like silt in a river, which gradually clogs up the free flow until it becomes sluggish and lifeless. Keep an even flow so that nothing can stand in the way and all is washed clear before it has time to clog. Fill your minds with positive, creative thoughts. Fill your hearts with love. Fill your lives with light. Be love. Be light. Be full of wisdom and understanding. All this is yours. When your life is hid in me and you learn to do my will and walk in my ways, learn to meet petulance with gentleness and perseverance and perversiveness with kindness. Always return good for evil and overcome anger by love. Love will overcome all. So fill your heart so full of love that you will overcome the world. Love is the universal solvent. There is no greater power than love. Love unites. Love sees not evil, but only the good. Love sees perfection in everyone and everything and turns the hardest heart into a loving heart. Love has to flow in and through individuals. So open your hearts and let it flow through you. Layer after layer has to be peeled away before the heart is laid bare and can really know and feel love. As you learn to think for others, as you learn to serve your fellow man, as you learn to forget the self completely in service, so are the layers of the old peeled off one by one. There are as many layers to be peeled off as there are on an onion, but never give up, never despair. Simply know that as long as your greatest desire is to know and to find the true meaning of love, you will do so. Readiness to change is a major quality in the New Age consciousness. Many people are ready for others to change, but not everyone is willing for the effort and cost and discipline of becoming different themselves. No one can enter the new without a real change of heart. And you can only experience a real change of heart when you choose to do so of your own free will. No one can make you change. They can only show you the way. You have to take it. You have to start the wheels turning and keep them turning. When souls enter into the rarefied atmosphere of this center, things begin to happen to them, and they are never the same again. They may have to go back into the ordinary atmosphere of everyday life when they leave here, and to begin with, they may slip back a little, but never can their lives be the same again. In this atmosphere, that divine spark in every soul has been fanned, and gradually the spark becomes a flame and will grow and become brighter and brighter. It may only be a slow process with some, but nevertheless it will happen. Others will burst into flame and will go forth, and great things will happen to them. They will mount the steeps with springing steps and with joy in their hearts. All obstacles will be surmounted. Nothing will stand in the way of their spiritual advancement because they've seen the light, and nothing will be able to stop them from reaching the light. The old must die, so the new may live and increase and multiply. When a potato is planted, the old potato rots and withers away, so more potatoes can be brought forth. When a grain of corn is planted in the ground, the original seed disappears so that the new can spring forth in greater profusion. So with man, the old must be surrendered and die, so the new may spring forth in all its glory. Therefore, never resist change. Accept it as a vitally important process of life. Never be satisfied to sit around and vegetate, content with old ways, old forms. There is so much in life waiting for you when you learn to let go of all the old and move forward into the glorious new. Never be afraid of the unknown, the unseen. Simply know that as you move forward into it, it's going to be wonderful. Expect the very best to come out of it, and it will. Many sit around dreading what tomorrow may bring, instead of enjoying it to the full. What this moment has in store for you. Cease worrying about the tomorrow. Today is what matters, what you do right now in this moment of time. If a seed refused to be planted, it would never grow. If you refuse to change, you will wither away and die. Life is ever changing, ever new. It is so full of joy and excitement that there never need be a dull moment. When you keep in midstream and go with the flow and do not get stuck in a little byway and refuse to move on and face life in the right spirit, the spirit of adventure. Circumstances keep changing, and this is where you must learn to be absolutely open, flexible, and willing to alter course at a moment's notice. When you are working with me, rigidity is of no use. A hard, brittle, unpliable piece of clay is of no use in the potter's hands. It could not be moulded into something beautiful. Never be afraid of changes, never be afraid of expansion. Simply let go and allow it all to happen quite naturally. Open your eyes and see the changes that take place in nature. How naturally a flower unfolds without any resistance. How a tree changes from bare branches to green leaves, grows and stretches its branches up and out to its full glory. Now, let each one of you let go and relax in my divine love. Allow yourselves to grow and expand just as naturally as the trees, the flowers, and see what happens. Wonder upon wonder will take place, because there is nothing of the self in the way to stop the growth and expansion. Be still, and in the silence let me reveal my will, my divine plan for you. It's a glorious plan. Simply accept this, but realize that it will be unfolded to you gradually, not all at once. If I were to reveal my plan for you all at once, you would not be able to take it, no matter how wonderful it may be. Place your lives in my hands. Leave the rest to me in absolute faith and confidence, knowing that I alone know what's best for you. When you allow me to direct and guide your whole life, only the very best can come about. I am with you always, and when I am with you, everything falls into place perfectly. One of the oldest truths, which is also one of the most relevant to New Age living, is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. In modern language, change your thinking and you change your life. Eileen was often given guidance like this. Life is what you make it. It can be a wonderful, joyous, illumined, glorious time, or it can be just the opposite. It all depends on your attitude and outlook. This uncomfortable truth, though at the same time a challenging and inspiring truth, was emphasized and repeated through the years. Life is what you make it. It can be a wonderful, joyous, illumined, glorious time, or it can be just the opposite. It all depends on your attitude and outlook. You are almost at the end of the old year, a year that has brought great changes. You have each advanced along the spiritual road much further than you realize. If you could each stand back and view yourselves personally, you would be able to see this clearly. As it is, you are so close to yourselves that you fail to see the positive. You see only the places where you have failed. Make your resolution now to see only the positive, the best in everybody and in every situation. Look for the best and be not satisfied until you have done so. By doing this, you will see everything with new eyes, and to see everything with new eyes will create the new all around you. It'll be hard work at times to keep on stretching into that new vista, leaving the old behind. But you will find when you do this at every turn, your whole life will change. As you think, so you are. By your thinking and your attitude, you can determine all the conditions of your life. Therefore, let no fear, no worry, no hatred, no jealousy, no sorrow, no grieving, no greed enter into the realms of your thoughts, and be so filled with love and joy, true happiness and freedom. When your mind is in the right state, so will your body be free of all pains and aches. You will find a new zest in life, and life will take on a new meaning. Those things which have bound you like chains and held you down can be broken right now, when you really want them to be broken. But are you sure you are not holding on to them for some reason or other? perhaps to draw attention to yourself, or for sympathy, or self-pity. Look within your heart, deep within it, and see what the motives are. Only you and I know your true motives. No one else does. Therefore, only you and I together can do something about them. Never at any time feel your situation is hopeless. When you allow yourself to do this, you are creating limitations, and always remember, I am limitless. When your faith and trust are in me, we can do all things together. This is a time of spiritually consolidating, of taking time to be still, of dwelling upon me and my word. Use this time, which is given to you, in the right way. Let every moment of it be guided by me. When you take time to be alone with me, only the very best can come out of that time. Because when your mind is stayed on me, you are dwelling on the perfect. You are creating the perfect within you, and nothing negative can enter that secret place. You have the key. You can enter that place and lock the door from the inside, and there dwell in perfect peace and stillness. Then, when you have found that glorious state of consciousness, open the door wide. Share it with all you come in contact with, but find it within yourself first. Waste no time or energy dwelling on negative and destructive thoughts. Dwell only on the very best in everything and everyone around you. I have reminded you of this so many, many times. You carry it out for a while, then you forget, and allow a tiny negative, unloving, critical thought in. And before you realize what's happening, you find your vibrations have been lowered. You become depressed and disconsolate, and you're no good to anyone, not even yourself. The only answer to this condition is immediately to change your thinking. Start here and now, looking on the bright side of life, looking for the very best, counting your blessings, appreciating everything, giving thanks for everything. You will soon find your whole outlook will change. There will no longer be any room for the negative. What a responsibility you hold in your hands. It's up to you what you make of your life. It's up to you whether you make it a tremendous success or a complete failure. It does not depend on your outer circumstances. It all depends on you, on what is going on deep within you. You can put things right now. You can go into that secret place of the Most High. There you will find the answer. Put the answer into practice, and hey presto, darkness will be turned into light. Every step you take will be lighted by that inner light, which nothing outside can extinguish. Be ever aware of the vitality of your thoughts. Keep them ever pure, loving, constructive, positive. Raise them out of the mire of materialism, of self-concern, of self-justification, into the realms of spirit. Keep your mind stayed on me. Negative thinking, thoughts of hatred and resentment can affect your state of health. Healthy thoughts create a healthy body. With many souls, their unhealthy thoughts are so deep down in their subconscious that if it were suggested that their state of health was caused by some deep-seated resentment, hatred, or fear, it would be flatly denied. But I tell you, this is the cause of so many of those pains and aches. If only they could be faced up to and something done about them. You will always find a person with a healthy, positive outlook on life has a healthy body. My love is like the sun. It shines on all alike, for all are one in my sight. It depends on your awareness how much of it you accept. The more open you are, the freer you are, the more aware you are of my glorious love. Love heals all wounds. Love breaks down all barriers. Love walks and moves freely where angels feel to tread. I am love, I am within you. Expand your consciousness, accept this, and give eternal thanks. Many changes in our way of living come about spontaneously with spiritual growth. One of the basic laws of the spiritual life is that we must keep growing, keep moving and reaching forward into the new. This requires the effort on our part to stretch and seek always to realize the full potential of our divine nature. When you stop stretching upwards, things get on top of you and everything becomes stagnant. This life is a constant stretching process. Should be no sitting still. It's like the sea. There should be always movement of some sort. Life is not a pond or a loch, because if it were, you would not advance very far. With the sea, it's always on the move. So when I tell you to be at peace or to be still, this does not mean the stretching process has to stop. In that state of peace and stillness, you can reach up so much further. In this life, there is always room to stretch and stretch. There is always something new to learn, some new height to attain. That is what makes this life so exciting and thrilling, because there's always something new just around the corner. You are an unfolding soul. Feel this process of unfolding all the time. Whenever you feel you are stuck in a rut and have stopped unfolding, take time to find out what has happened, where you have failed to see something through, where you have ceased to stretch. When you have sought and found the cause, find the answer and do something about it without delay. The process of unfolding should be slow and sure. You never see a flower unfold in the sunshine. It happens very gently and slowly, bit by bit, it reveals its beauty, without you even being aware of it doing so, until eventually you become aware of it and marvel at its glory and wonder. So it will be with you as your soul unfolds. Wonders are hidden away to be developed and revealed. When you take a rosebud and cut it open down the middle, you will be bitterly disappointed, because that bud has not had time to develop and unfold. Its colours, its beauty, its perfection are marred by the sudden harsh treatment. The same with the soul. It has to unfold in its own perfect timing to reveal its true wonder and beauty. A soul must never be pushed and driven and only given help when it asks for help. I have never tried to force myself upon you at any time. If you wish to go your own way and live your own life, you can always do so without me browbeating you into walking my way. But you also know that as soon as you feel the need of me and my help, cry out for it, whether aloud or that deep, silent cry within your heart that reaches me just as quickly. I am always there, ready to help you in every possible way. When you cry out for my help, do it always with an open heart and mind, with a determination to do whatever I ask you to do. Obedience is so vitally important for a soul who seeks my help. I can only bring about my wonders when I have implicit obedience. Seek at all times and you will find. What you will find will always be my perfect answer to your needs. Change of consciousness is not a purely personal concern. When people change, the community also changes. When people change, the world will also change. Tread the spiritual path with peace in your hearts towards all men, for blessed are the peacemakers. It is only when all people find peace in their hearts will there be peace in the world, and all conflict will cease. Unite together in peace and understanding. Start by creating peace within yourself, then peace amongst yourselves, then peace with all of you that come in contact, all those people you come in contact with in daily life. From there, start radiating out peace and more peace. Do it consciously. Do not be vague about it. Radiate it out to the troubled spots in the world. The more of you who do it, the quicker will be the results. The majority of mankind long for peace, but many fail to see that peace starts within themselves, that the sooner they sort themselves out and find peace of heart and mind, the more they can be used to create peace until each and every one become peacemakers. Think peace, live peace, and so bring peace into the world.